Welcome, basketball fans, to 2K Sports. I'm Damon Bruce. Thursday Hoops. It'll be Derrick Rose and the Chicago Bulls facing off against the Toronto Raptors. And that'll do it until we catch up again for the HP Halftime Report. Now, out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K crew.
It's Eastern Conference time for the traveling Chicago Bulls. At the Air Canada Center, the Raptors expect to use that home court advantage. Thank you for joining us. It's the NBA presented by 2K Sports for this Thursday afternoon game. Let's check out Chicago's starting lineup presented by State Farm. Carlos Boozer and Joakim Noah, they're inside. Derrick Rose is out there with Richard Hamilton, and it's Butler in at the 3. And for Toronto, Calderon and DeRozan are the guards. Sonny Weems is out there with Bargnani, and it's Valanciunas in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Now here's Rose. Nice move. And in he goes for the easy 2. Rose has got the first points up on the board here for the Bulls.
Now, the Bulls had to battle some injuries last year, but it didn't slow them down one bit in their rampage through the East. Carlos Boozer missed time early. Joakim Noah missed a large chunk of the season as well, but it didn't slow them down.
He's guarded by Calderon, and that one's good.
He has so much offensive imagination. Always seems like he's ready to try something new.
Chicago on D, 4-point game. Stevie talked about the injuries. Boozer, Clark, you come to expect it a bit with the Bulls, but they didn't miss a beat.
They had the depth to make up for it. I mean, Boozer's injury clearly was a problem, but then Noah was out for a while as well, and they really missed his length and activity, particularly.
And he slams it home. Here's the replay on the Sprite Slam Cam.
Come on now, I didn't see. Can you believe that finish? Boy, a little bit of flair. Flavor at the end of it.
Oh, that'll be a fan favorite, all right.
That was not your average typical dunk.
Noah picks him up. Good look. Calderon, that's good. Calderon's got his first bucket in this one.
Well, he knows his role. He embraces it. He's really a guy that you can go to offensively.
Nice shot by Hamilton. Here's Calderon. About 3.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. They set the pick. Bargnani a screen on Rose. Clock at 6. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. They get Carlos Boozer.
Well, last season was a tough one for Toronto Raptors fans. They managed just 16 wins in front of their home fans, and even for losing teams. If you can win at home, that's a starting point. That's an area they have to improve upon.
And for these Toronto fans, it's got to be tough, Steve, seeing a franchise player like Chris Bosh leave town and watch the team rebuild. And it's, Clark, going to be quite a rebuilding project.
Yeah, but at the same token, Kevin, I mean, Bosh had 8 seasons there, and he only had 3 playoff wins to show for it. He and the Raptors, they just didn't have the pieces to get over the hump to get to that next level. At some point, you've got to hit that refresh button.
I can't argue with that one.
Well, he really used the height advantage there down on the block.
Here's Calderon, and Rose picks him up defensively. DeRozan covered by Hamilton. Here's Bargnani, knocks it down from 19 feet. Here's Rose. It's a 5-point game. Outside Butler, and Boozer backs in. Takes it up. Bargnani grabs the board.
Tell you what, the defender made a nice recovery there. It looked like he was beaten, but he still managed to challenge the shot.
Carlos Boozer signed that big free agent contract with Chicago before last season and then broke his hand before the year even started. But he came back, got healthy, and became a strong presence, and the Bulls had a great season.
Beyond the arc, Weems' shot is good. He's got 5.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done.
Rose against Calderon. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. 8 points for Rose.
You know, just to follow up on what you said there, Steve, I mean, injuries have been an issue for Boozer over his career. I mean, he gives the Bulls a low post presence, and they've needed that for years, so I think it can be a good fit for him.
Hamilton puts up a three, and again it's the Bulls from deep.
Well, I think it takes a lot of guts to shoot the three on the fast break with a guy closing out on you.
So, timeout call. Called here, the first for Toronto.
And obviously, coach doesn't want them giving up all these inside buckets. They need to do a better job of moving their feet, staying in their stance, and keeping their man in front of them.
And the Raptors with some changes. Davis comes in for Valanciunas, and Jared Bayless subbed in for Jose Calderon. Then for the Bulls, Kyle Korver, he's checked in for Butler. Bogans comes in for Richard Hamilton. And it's Watson in for Derrick Rose. Weems' shot is good. He's got 7.
Boy, he went way up top there. Some serious hang time on his way to the rim.
Here is Korver, and that one's good.
You know, if their plan was to keep going inside a ton, it sure has paid off. I mean, it seems like every bucket they get is in the lane.
Well, no reason to take an outside shot if you're scoring at will from inside the paint.
Got that bucket in no time at all.
They're all on the same page, no question.
And that chemistry has helped them jump out to this big first quarter lead. A cohesive team can beat a talented one almost every time.
Well, that's 4 turnovers now. We're barely halfway through the first quarter.
And, Steve, that's self-inflicted trouble. I mean, you turn it over like that, it'll hold you back for the whole game.
Wow, hot start offensively.
Racing out to that quick lead, I mean, they're scoring and shooting with a lot of confidence.
.27 seconds left in the first quarter. Now Bayless. Six to shoot. Weems, that's good, and so Bayless with the assist. 9 points in the game so far. Fades. What an amazing buzzer beater.
Boy, how about that? You want to talk about cool? How about cool Tom customer?
And I'll tell you what, a split second later, guys, and it's a totally different result here. What a shot.
And after just 1 quarter of play, a double-digit differential on the scoreboard. It's the Bulls. They lead by 13.
Well, I'll tell you what, I like what I've seen from this club defensively. They're forcing a lot of turnovers with their quick hands and ability to play the passing lanes.
Well, you talk about quick hands, but I think it's the mindset of being aggressive and then obviously being active with the hands, tracing that ball so you can come up with deflections that may lead to steals.
And we'll return momentarily. And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway.
A lot to improve on for the Raptors defensively from last season. I mean, last year, the second highest field goal percentage defense and also the second highest three-point field goal defense.
So with Rose on the bench, here's the 5 for Tom Thibodeau right now. We've got Dang. Taj Gibson is out there with Carlos Boozer. Then it's Watson, and it's Brewer in at the 2. The Bulls leading by 11. Parker taking a look at that Raptor defense. The bottom 10 in steals, bottom 5 in blocks, top 5 in free throw attempts, granted to the other team. You know, Steve, you start to wonder if it's just as much a matter of lack of effort as it is lack of technique.
Well, what this team needs is a defensive identity. You know, are you going to be a team that pressures the perimeter? Are you going to be a team that presses and tries to force turnovers? Or are you going to sit back and pack the paint? But you have to hang your hat on something. And I really don't feel like Toronto had anything that they could turn to defensively last year.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hey guys, well Ronnie Brewer of the Bulls has the unorthodox shooting motion. He broke his arm as a kid falling down a slide, and it ended up healing a little out of line. Coach Tom Thibodeau said he's put a lot of time into his shooting, and his mid-range game is excellent. He said that he also likes Brewer shooting the three. And guys, with Brewer's great defense, if his shot is on target, he can really be a factor.
Certainly a player to root for. Thanks, Doris.
Yeah, he made big strides defensively, and he's starting to take advantage of his potential in that area.
After coming over from the Celtics, Tom Thibodeau has really brought his brand of defense over to the Bulls. I mean, you've seen it. Hard to argue with the results. He was just what the Bulls were looking for in the new head coach.
And Davis puts it in.
Excellent teamwork to set up that hoop, Kevin. A sweet dime there.
Backing down is Dang. And slammed down hard. Another look on the Sprite Slam Cam.
How's that for finishing with flavor?
Absolutely. Absolutely fantastic.
I think he was saving that one for a special occasion.
When you see the turnaround, Clark, that Thibodeau brought to Chicago. You know, Steve, you've been in the front office before hiring and firing coaches. You wonder why he wasn't hired sooner.
Well, I actually interviewed Tom Thibodeau in Phoenix, and maybe I should have hired him. He's a phenomenal coach, did a great job with Chicago, and I think that roster is perfectly suited for his style. Thibodeau, very defensive-minded, and he's got a lot of great defenders on that Chicago team.
Fade away, and it's Chicago scoring again.
Takes such a delicate touch to hit that fadeaway jumper with a man in your face.
Toronto calls timeout.
How about the Bulls' improvement a year ago, guys? They won 62 games, up from 41 in the previous year. Once again, Chicago has become a dominant team.
And some changes here for the Raptors. Bargnani is checked in for Davis. DeRozan comes in for Sonny Weems, and Jared Bayless subbed in for Jose Calderon. So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Boozer. Butler comes in for Luol Deng. Richard Hamilton's checked in for Ronnie Brewer. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for C.J. Watson. The feed now to Bargnani, moving the ball well. Valenciunas. Bargnani passes to Barbosa. Hits the three-point bomb. Barbosa's got 9 points now in the quarter. And dominant is the right word, as you mentioned, with the Bulls. They just ran away with the regular season.
Kevin, it's been a while since the Bulls had the best record in the NBA, but the way they came together, it wasn't really shocking. They were good defensively, and they had chemistry and cohesiveness offensively.
And stolen by Hamilton. And they're pushing it up. Down low. Barbosa with the steal. Defended by Gibson. Bargnani. And the Raptors tack on 2 more. Here's Rose. He's got 8.
And Leandro Barbosa, a long-time, very productive player for the Phoenix Suns. Eventually traded to Toronto before last season and had a nice year for the Raptors.
It's stolen by Rose. Backs down. 8 feet out. Again, Chicago.
This is some kind of performance we're seeing from him today. He has yet to miss a shot.
And Barbosa, Steve, happy to join the Raptors like you were talking about. And Clark, that was a place where he knew he could get a little bit more playing time.
Yeah, and at the point in his career where he was, that was important to him to have a chance to showcase that unbelievable speed and shooting ability. I think he's the kind of guy that has spurt ability. Usually it's a team thing with me, but he's got personal spurt ability. A lot of points in limited time.
Count the bucket. And that's 15 points for Rose.
You can't fault what he's been doing out there. Some really impressive shooting.
Here's Barbosa. Drops in the tray.
Boy, these threes are picking them apart. I mean, 4 out of the last 5 shots against them, all uncontested, and all are threes.
Yeah, the defense just looks uninterested right now. I mean, they're not making the effort to challenge these shots. Yeah, they're finding the open man. Unselfish play. I like it.
Yeah, I love it too. Teamwork in evidence there, right on full display. A big percentage, a high percentage of their baskets have come off assists.
Here's Rose. Blocked. Raptors trail by 8.
Good idea. Hold on to the ball. Take the last shot of the quarter.
Yep.
It's stolen by Rose.
And I like the aggressiveness defensively, forcing that mistake.
And that concludes the first half. Live from Toronto, we'll see you in just a moment.
And a fun game going on out in Toronto as HP presents our halftime report. Some good basketball for the Bulls. The shooting percentage they're sporting is straight up cartoonish right now. Defenders just don't know what to do. We've seen Derrick Rose scoring effortlessly against the Raptors. He's got 15 points, and he's also made plays for others, showing his court vision definitively in this one. And there's no quit in the Raptors. They came to win. They're gunning from distance. The three-pointer's been their prime weapon. Leandro Barbosa having a huge impact. The bucket looks about 5 feet wide for him. He hasn't missed one shot. Can you believe it? We've already seen some highlights from these two in the first half. They're leading both their teams in scoring. That's it. Time for us to wrap things up and get you on back out to the second half. Kevin, Steve, Clark, and Doris, thanks so much for tuning in.
All right, the second half beginning in just a moment. Here's Calderon. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. So for Toronto right now, Calderon and DeRozan are the guards. Bargnani is out there with Sonny Weems, and it's Valanciunas in at the 5, roaming the paint. And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Hey, Kevin. Well, it's no secret that Tom Thibodeau's defensive scheme is very detailed, often relying on statistical breakdowns. As former NBA MVP Kobe Bryant says of his schemes, the guy's a lab rat. He'll stay in there and figure things out and figure percentages out and who's doing what. He really focuses on the task at hand. Guys, it's a proven method, that's for sure.
Thank you, Doris. You can't argue with the results of Thibodeau's work ethic.
No, that's for sure. And, having the success he's had as a defensive mind doesn't come by accident. And this is a guy who puts in countless hours watching film and devising schemes.
Here's Boozer. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time.
It's been a little too easy for them inside, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, Steve. I mean, they've really dictated the action in the paint. That's been their focus, and the defense hasn't mounted much resistance at all.
Well, that's the problem. You turn the ball over, and your defense just isn't set up at the other end.
And sometimes when it happens that way, it almost feels like a 4-point bucket.
Here is Calderon. He's got 8.
Well, Rose has become the cornerstone of this Chicago franchise. In fact, last season, he became the first Bulls player to be named as a starter in the All-Star game since Michael Jordan.
It's stolen by Rose.
Careless play there. You've got to avoid those kind of turnovers.
Yeah, you really do, Steve. I mean, those really take a toll on you. They deflate any kind of rhythm you're trying to build. Guys, he's got the length to get to the rim, and when he gets there, you never see a clumsy or awkward finish out of him. Everything is smooth and fluid.
Steve brought up Rose as an all-star. You've talked about his MVP season. You think there would have been some in-between he and Jordan for such a storied franchise, but it took a while.
Yeah, it did take a while, and sometimes that's the way it goes. If you're not winning, you can have good players, and they just don't quite get that all-star nod. They've had some good players, but clearly Derrick Rose has made that a moot point because he's going to be a perennial all-star as long as he's healthy.
Clark, think how hard it is to be the #1 overall pick, then to be the #1 overall pick by your hometown team.
That's a great point.
Where you grew up, that's got to be tough.
It's really difficult. Whoa! Now that's a special order right there.
Not everybody can cap off a dunk like that.
Yeah, very difficult maneuver, but a tremendous one if you can pull it off.
Now here's Calderon, and Bargnani backs in. Takes it up. 6 on the shot clock. Stolen by Noah.
Just too careless with the basketball.
And Rose throws it down hard.
Man, oh man, oh man. For a guy who's not the biggest player on the court, I mean, that's a humongous finish.
Well, he's capable of those, Clark. We've seen it before.
Yes. We have.
Yeah, you guys, he is very comfortable taking it to the hoop if he's got an opening, and man, he'll make you pay.
You know, the Bulls were a tough team while traveling last season and ended up with the second most road wins in the Eastern Conference, trailing only the Miami Heat.
And the Raptors making a change here. Davis is checked in. Then for the Bulls, Taj Gibson's checked in for Boozer. Korver comes in for Butler. And it's Watson in for Derrick Rose. Here is Calderon. 8 points for him. Over Noah. Calderon, that's good. Calderon's got 10 points. We're talking about the Bulls on the road. They got those 26 road wins by, I think, getting really tough.
Well, they're such a good rebounding team, guys, and when you rebound on the road, it gives you a chance to win.
He's covered by Watson. Here's Bargnani. Weems. And the Raptors tack on 2 more.
I think he's done his part to try to keep him in this game. It's been a solid effort from him, guys.
Watson's shot is good.
Probably time to bring an extra defender, change up the defense a little bit.
Well, Steve, he's been so good. I think they got to take the ball out of his hands right now.
Davis against Noah. Slammed home, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line.
And look at how he posed on the rim for a few seconds after that one. That's never going to endear you to your opponents. They don't like that kind of stuff.
No, he was enjoying that one so much he didn't want to let go.
Yeah, just a little reminder of whose rim it is.
Watson. It's hauled in by Jose Calderon.
And the defender, the rotation came over, really seemed to bother him, and that threw that shot off.
And here comes the break. Watson kicks to Gibson. Stolen away as they knock away the alley-oop attempt. Weems. Oh! The reverse jam. Unbelievable.
Boy, that is some fantastic body control. I mean, that reverse isn't nearly as easy as he made it look.
Not at all. Just a tremendous play.
Well, just imagine the confidence it takes even to try that move.
Here's Hamilton, and he's good on the three ball. Hamilton's got 8.
And he'll look for the 3 anytime he can get it, especially in transition.
Here's Weems, 15 points in the game. Davis working against Noah. And Davis gets it to go. Davis has got 5 points now this quarter.
So far, going for more of an inside game here in the second half, and I like that. A little smash-mouth basketball, taking it inside. He got that one, but he hasn't been producing the way we're accustomed to. He needs to look for a shot a bit more.
Weems. That ball's nice feed this time from Jose Calderon. Calderon's got his 7th assist in the game. Here's Hamilton, drops in the layup for 2. Hamilton's got 10 points.
Well, that makes 5 of their last 6 makes coming from inside.
Yeah, really focused on getting the ball into the paint because they're taking advantage of very porous defense down there.
Pass to Calderon, lets the 3 fly, shot's good. He's got 13.
It's a good thing he showed up today because without him, this team will be in big trouble.
On deep. No good on that last second attempt there. And offensively, a great show for the fans through the first 3 quarters. It's been a fun game to watch. A fantastic game from Derrick Rose in this one.
Now, so far in this one, he's played a different role than normal, but he's done a nice job as this team's playmaker here today.
And all of it's worked for the most part. I mean, he might not be known as a dime dropper, but after this game, he will be.
We'll be back shortly live from the Air Canada Centre in downtown Toronto. So as we get rolling here in the 4th, let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for the Sprite Spark Report. Doris?
Hey, Kevin. Well, our spark of the game goes to the Bulls for that major surge. They look completely focused and on top of their game as they keep finding ways to extend this lead. This was the performance Coach was looking for at the start of the game, and they haven't disappointed, guys.
Okay, Doris, thank you. And that run, Clark, really changed the complexion of this game.
Yeah, it sure did. I thought it stirred something up in them that got them on a good run.
Got the ball rolling for them, and they were able to keep it going from there, guys.
So it was on the bench. Top of the ball right now. Both teams are out to Watson. That's their style. And then there's and Gibson in the power forward. Beautiful right there. Absorbing the contact and going to the free throw line.
I like the concentration he showed there. He knew he was going to get hit, but kept his eye on the hoop. Now he has a chance at a three-point play.
Here's Korver for 3. Count that one. And the Bulls lead by 9.
Both of these teams have really stepped it up offensively.
You know what, Steve? They haven't missed a chance, and I think both teams really know what's at stake on every possession here.
Yeah, he continues to rack up the numbers.
Guys, I tell you what, this is as well-rounded a game as you'll see.
Here's the 3. They get it again, and Gibson kicks to Korver. It's stolen by Valanciunas. Gibson is whistled for reaching in. That's his 3rd foul of the game.
That's his 3rd personal.
Here's Calderon. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. They get C.J. Watson.
Well, you know one thing about Jose Calderon, you don't want to send him to the line. He shoots over 87% for his career, but how about back in 2009, set an NBA record, shot over 98% from the free throw line.
And Calderon, not just a great shooter, Steve, at the free throw line, but Clark from the floor as well.
How about this for his career? Over 48% from the field. That's excellent for a guard. And over 38% from the three-point line. So you factor in court vision, and that makes him a really tough guy for the opposing defender.
Here's Watson. Hits it from three-point range.
They've stepped up their three-point shooting game in the second half. They're letting it fly out there with reckless abandon.
Now they're feeling confident, and they're in a good flow offensively, so why not just keep firing from out there?
Got that one up quick.
Now he took advantage of that mismatch size-wise, went right up with it.
Yeah, he loves those mid-range jumpers.
And Boozer backs in, fades and shoots. And the Bulls tack on two more. Here is Calderon. And Clark, they're going to have to make a pretty big comeback here.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think the clock is a factor right now, at least not yet. I mean, they don't need to change their pace of play. Keep attacking.
Yeah, I agree. You got to make sure you take your time, but start to be more effective and efficient with each possession, and you got to buckle down defensively.
Valenciunas scooped up, puts up the baby hook. Again, Toronto.
Boy, I like the rugged work on the inside that led to that very easy putback. That's going after it there, guys.
And here's Korver from the arc. Good. And the Bulls lead by 10.
Fellas, they are heating up from outside now.
Yep, of their last 5 hoops, 3 of them have come from long range.
And the Raptors call time here.
I think Coach saw a couple of things he wanted to correct. You got to make sure everyone's following the game plan.
Some changes for Toronto. Amir Johnson's checked in for Bargnani. DeRozan comes in for Linus Kleza. And Jared Bayless subbed in for Jose Calderon. So Chicago going with an almost entirely new grouping. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Gibson. Butler comes in for Kyle Korver. Richard Hamilton's checked in for Keith Bogans. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for C.J. Watson. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Yes, guys, I was able to hear Dwayne Casey coaching his team during that break. It didn't take long to figure out he was angry, saying to the team, you can't expect to win turning the ball over as often as we are. It's not going to happen, guys, unless you start using your heads out there.
From deep, Rose hits the bucket. Rose has got 12 points here in the second half.
They strike right back with a 3 of their own.
Steve, that's a great way to respond after giving up the long ball.
And the Raptors call time here. Some changes for Toronto. Bargnani is checked in for Johnson. Sonny Weems comes in for Leandro Barbosa. And it's Calderon in for Jared Bayless. They get a hand on it. .158 left in the fourth quarter. Launches a 3, and the Bulls another 3.
9 straight points for them off of wide open looks from deep. Something has to change for this D.
Yeah, they're just giving up too many easy shots out there. They've got to close out harder, get a hand up, make him put it on the floor.
And that is good.
That time he found a gap in the defense to turn that one into a very easy jump shot, a warm-up jumper, if you will.
The tray, there's the block. Raptors trail by 11. Back to Bargnani. Here's DeRozan. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Joakim Noah.
Good on the first, and that brings them within 10.
You know, being behind in this game, Kevin, they're doing what they need to do, driving the lane and forcing the defense into some mistakes.
Well, and even if it doesn't fall, they're stopping the clock and getting a chance to score from the line.
From deep, Rose. That's good. Rose has got 18 points now here in the second half.
Another 3, and we've just seen a barrage from long range here in the second half.
Well, they have come out blazing, and defensively, it's hard to deny that shot. I mean, that's a lot of ground to cover when a team spreads you out like they do.
Releases, and that's good from Bargnani on the assist by Calderon. Bargnani's got 4 points now in the quarter. Rose, no good. And the Raptors with possession, trailing by 10. It's stolen by Rose. Jumps up, and Rose throws it down hard. Brought to you by Sprite, the Sprite Slam Cam on the replay.
Well, they've looked good here tonight. And now they are coasting to the finish line.
Steve, just a matter of time right now.
Guys, we've seen a lot of turnovers in this one.
Yeah, it's been really sloppy out there.
I understand that they're trying to be aggressive, but still, I mean, you can play fast and still play efficiently, but they're not doing that right now.
Sinks the first one, and that brings them to 6 minutes. He makes both free throws. 40 seconds left here in the fourth quarter.
For pride's sake.
And here's the fast break.
And that'll do it. That should seal the deal.
Yep, I agree. Close.
And the Raptors call time here. They're trailing by 10. There's 25 seconds left in the game. Here is Colorado. Just 1 second between the clock and game clock. All sorts of time. Weems' shot is good.
My goodness, he's knocking down everything he looks at.
And so here is Chicago. 13 points was their biggest lead in the game. On its way from Rose for 2, and the Bulls tack on 2 more.
Yeah, this is a done deal here. They've pretty much finished this team off.
Yeah, we can put this one in the books. Too much to overcome that.
I guess that's a great deal for all to get a thing like that to go.
On the money. And the Bulls lead by 10.
That's a tough matchup, and yet he found a way to get off that shot. Impressive.
You know what, guys? I mean, those are really the kind of challenges he loves. I mean, he's that kind of competitor.
And so Chicago takes this one by a big margin. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly controlling each end of the floor.
Hey, what more can you ask?
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, Doris, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan player of the game, Derrick Rose.